Hey there, good people, it's your Crippled Critic, and this week I'm going to talk about Rise of the Tomb Raider, specifically the new DLC. So, just in time for Halloween, two new DLC packs for Rise of the Tomb Raider came out last week. They're called Blood Ties and Laura's Nightmare. Both of them have more of a horror theme than the main game. For reference, Tomb Raider was developed by British studio Eidos Interactive and published by Square Enix. Since the 2013 reboot of the series, the main writer has been Rhianna Pratchett. Rhianna Pratchett has worked on a lot of other games like Heavenly Sword and Mirror's Edge, but she is also the daughter of acclaimed fantasy writer Terry Pratchett. Since I talked a little bit about Rise of the Tomb Raider in a previous video, I'll only briefly touch on what I liked about the whole game, since I didn't have a whole lot of things to say about it. Basically, I really liked the 2013 reboot of the series, and for the sequel, Rise of the Tomb Raider, I thought they improved a lot in the gameplay, but I didn't really like the new story as much. I do want to talk about some of the improvements to accessibility in the sequel, Rise of the Tomb Raider, and I'm going to do that right now. Rise of the Tomb Raider has all of the same options that the first game did. Things like camera sensitivity, brightness sensitivity, and aim assist. You can change the difficulty in the game, and there are subtitles options. Like in the first game, Rise of the Tomb Raider subtitles also act as captions. However, one big improvement over the first game is that the subtitles used to change color whenever someone new was talking. This could definitely prove problematic for colorblind players, but thankfully Rise of the Tomb Raider has fixed that and added a way to change the subtitles back to just white. Also, like the first game, Rise of the Tomb Raider has customizable controls, and again, I recommend playing it on PC only because the PS4 and Xbox One versions don't have as much accessibility options. So, Rise of the Tomb Raider lets you remap all the keyboard keys and the mouse for the controls. Something nice I noticed is that there weren't many changes to the gameplay commands like jump and shoot, so I was basically able to put the presets from the first game into this next one without many differences. Definitely made my playthrough a lot easier, and I recommend playing Rise of the Tomb Raider on PC if you played the PC version of the original, because it just makes it a lot simpler. Just a heads up, in this next section you'll see video of me playing the game, and there's really bad frame rate, so I want to go ahead and apologize for that. I have a slightly old graphics card, and Rise of the Tomb Raider doesn't really run very smoothly. As for the DLC, the only map is the Croft Manor. In Blood Ties, you're tasked to find an old will lost somewhere in the mansion. Laura's uncle is claiming ownership of the mansion and everything inside it, but supposedly Laura's father has a will that will say that she has all the rights, if she can find it. You'll mostly just be exploring the mansion in this DLC, finding clues and doing minor puzzles. There's no combat in Blood Ties, but there's lots of optional artifacts and things you can find along the way, with no time limit. In fact, after you beat this part of the DLC, you can unlock an exploring mode where you can find all the artifacts you didn't find on your first playthrough. They sprinkle in a few upgrades that they give you once you complete each puzzle, like a flashlight or a crowbar, but this really feels like a downgrade from the main game, considering you have all these weapons by the end, and the Blood Ties DLC is supposed to take place after the main game. I think the main point of Blood Ties was to give more insight into Laura's parents' relationship, but I doubt you'll get any more surprises than what you can already assume from what you know about them. It gets a little more intriguing by the end, though, as you explore the mansion. The second DLC is Laura's Nightmare, and it has all the combat. Laura's Nightmare is a lot more over the top and ridiculous. Basically, her uncle decides that he's not going to go the legal way of getting ownership of the house. He just says screw it and summons zombies to come kill her. I'm pretty sure this isn't in the Tomb Raider canon. In fact, they basically say it's just a dream. Although the series has plenty of supernatural stuff, so it could have been, but I don't think it is. Laura's Nightmare is more of a survival mode, where you basically just try to survive waves and waves of zombies coming at you. In order to stop the onslaught, you have to take out 3 of these floating skulls that are found throughout the mansion. Once you take them out, that's when it will end. There's no time limit, so the enemies will just keep coming until you take out all 3 skulls. I gotta say, Laura's Nightmare was pretty difficult. There's a lot of zombies coming at you, all different types too, like zombies with different armor and Some have helmets that you have to take out before you can kill them. Some are even kamikaze-like zombies that have bombs strapped to them as they run at you. One good thing is that this DLC lets you choose the weapons and armor from the very beginning before you actually start playing, but you do have limited ammo. For me, what was really tough was not being able to plan ahead for each wave of enemies. There's a lot of randomness to it. The amount of zombies is random, where they come from is random. A lot of times they'll come out from crawl spaces you wouldn't even know is there. Even harder is that every time you die, you appear in a completely different part of the mansion. I still had a lot of fun with this mode. It was just pretty difficult. I thought the atmosphere was great in Laura's Nightmare. Putting it in the mansion at night with the storm just makes it really creepy. As far as how the gameplay is accessible for disabled gamers, it really depends on the DLC. For gamers with fine motor skill impairments, I don't think they'll have any trouble playing Blood Ties, but with Laura's Nightmare, they'll definitely have a lot of trouble. The zombie survival mode is really all about how fast you can move, so I do think gamers will have some trouble. I don't think gamers with hearing impairments should have any trouble with captions on. Also, gamers with visual impairments should be fine as well. The brightness may need to be turned up for Laura's Nightmare, but as far as Blood Ties, it should be fine. Nothing in the game requires you to know the difference between red and green, so colorblind players should be fine as well. For what it was, I had fun playing the DLC. It didn't really add much new content to the main story, but if you want more Rise of the Tomb Raider, definitely get these. You can beat them both in about 2 hours, but it took me a little longer, about 3 to 4 hours instead. I think I had more fun playing Laura's Nightmare than Blood Ties. I just had trouble dealing with the relentless zombie attacks. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Have a happy and safe Halloween. I'll see you later.